Hello, everybody, and welcome to the fourth session in our road to the forum journey. My name is Jessica, and I'm really excited to be here with you today. I'm based in Bulgaria, and it is very gloomy outside, so I decided to wear some bright yellow glasses for you. I am a white woman. I have pink lipstick. My hair has some blue in it and it's twisted back. And I am wearing a clash of all the patterns that I have in my closet, from leopard print to floral. So this is what I bring to you today. We are so excited to be here in the space, in the road to the forum. This is our fourth session. I can't believe it. We're only 2 weeks away. Together with all you feminists who are going to be joining in either Bangkok in person or one of the hubs in Mexico, in Chiang Mai, Thailand, in Kenya, Jamaica, Cameroon, and Ghana. And so welcome here. This session is part of a larger series meant to give you useful information to prepare everyone for the forum, what to expect logistically and politically. And they're entry points for further discussion and deepening our feminist learnings. In this session, we're going to be focused on getting everyone up to speed on how to engage virtually during the forum. So this could mean, because there was a few questions about, hey, I'm going to be there in person. Do I need to be here? And the answer is yes. Because people will be joining from in their homes in one of the, I think there's about 8 or 9 hubs at this moment in various parts around the world. And we're also going to talk about our forum app, and this is going to be the place to get all of the information and connect directly with other feminists who are participating. I think we're at about 6,000 or something, like in person and in the virtual space. So get ready, lots of feminists happening here. So in this session, we have some amazing guests that are going to join you after I stop talking. And we want to remind you that sometimes feminism is not perfect and it's a learning journey for everyone. Not all the ideas that are shared are always shared across the board, and that's okay. So if you have any questions or comments, please share them in the chat. Feel free to reach out to any of us. But really, if you need to step away, just do that. And afterwards, we're going to continue this conversation on the forum app that's going to be launched next week. So I've dropped a Menti, but even beyond that, I would love for us to also show the slide. We're going to try something really fun, and it's going to be a tool we're going to be using at the forum. So I don't even have my phone here. Oh my gosh, I threw my phone away. But at the forum, we're going to be using an AI tool called Wordly. So if you get your phones, I assume everyone, except for me, for some reason now, has their phone very close, and you can use this QR code. The QR code will take you to an app to join. Wordly, we're going to hear a little bit more about it later, but it's a really amazing tool that offers language interpretation.
Sorry to jump. Sorry,
Yeah,
that's the wrong QR code that you have.
oh. Can we put something else in the chat? Wrong
Yes.
QR code. All right, we're going to put something on the chat. I'm just going to hype up Wordly because, I was talking to a feminist I know in Vietnam who was a bit concerned to come to the forum because there's not Vietnamese interpretation. But Wordly provides written and audio interpretations. So bring your headphones. In 60 additional languages. All right, we're going to try this QR code. So we are going to try it in real time in this session, so people can practice and people can get used to it. Okay? So let's just leave it up there for another about 60 seconds. And I'm going to call on Caroline to tell us a little bit about, I didn't tell you I was going to ask you this question, but like how Wordly came to be. It was quite a process, right? Oh no. It says ID not available. It's good we're testing it now.
Okay, so
The last, what did someone say? I can't see the chat at the same time. The last one was working. This one isn't. That's from Lucy, who's
okay, so when you scan the QR code, you will get a pop-up. There is more options. So when you open up more options, you get the option for passcode. So that's a very complicated passcode. You need to enter the passcode.
Can we put the passcode in the chat?
Sure.
Yeah. I think for me, I would answer it wrong many times over. If you have gotten onto Wordly and it seems to be working or you're in there, can you let us know in the chat? Okay, Ben is in there. Oh, okay. CDD Bolivia, no, it's not functioning. Okay, so everyone who's just joining us now, we're going to try to get a few folks onto Wordly. The reason we're actually doing this is because, well, many of our sessions will have language interpretation and international sign. It's not going to be in all spaces and in every session. So Wordly is an AI tool that we've done a lot of research on and provides language interpretation, both audio and in captioning in 60 additional languages. So we want folks to try it, to get used to it, so you can use it when you're at the AWID forum, but not only in the physical forum space, but in hybrid and virtual sessions as well. And this is a way for us to try to make the forum as accessible as possible. If you were here at the last session, we talked about accessibility, and language justice for us is one of the most important accessibility features.
Sorry,
Okay.
just jumping in just to say a few people are a little confused about the session ID. So the session ID is that long strand of letters that we've dropped in the chat box. So just click on more options and change the session ID to that long.
Sorry, Michelle. Keep the session ID to KNQE
Oh, sorry.
2941.
Ignore
And then
me.
when you click on more options, you get the passcode. So you enter the complicated passcode. And yeah.
Okay. Sorry, Jess. Welcome for my
No,
help.
no, it's okay. It's okay. So what we're going to do, let's just go over it one more time and
Yeah.
then we'll move on. So, Juhi, if you want to take that over to share the process again one more time clearly, and then we will move on. And also one of the ISL interpreters needs to be taken out of the channel. That's just something I'm flagging.
Okay. Okay, sorry. Hi, everyone. This is Juhi. Okay, so you have the QR code on right now. Once you open the QR code, you go through a link. There you get three options. So two options, you see, choose a language. So there are 60 languages. Choose the preferred language that you want. Then you see the session ID. So the session ID is pre-built. It is already there. Now when you click on more options, you get two more options, which is to put the passcode and to enter your name. So enter the passcode, the complicated passcode. Make sure that it is case sensitive. So make sure that it is same as it is. And then enter your name, and then you can click on attend.
Okay. So some people are saying the passcode does not work for them. So what we're going to do is now we're going to move forward, but we will try to troubleshoot within the chat channels. If you have any questions, feel free, or need ongoing support, feel free to go to the Q&A, because we also have a team of logistics folks who are, we know some folks, for instance, haven't been receiving emails, and some folks were asking about Access Fund and their flights. And if you want to ask any of those, in the Q&A channel is the best place to do it, and those will be answered. So let me just share my screen. If everyone wants to shift over to do the Menti, hold on a second. Look, I didn't even practice sharing my screen. So the Menti's just going to see where people are joining from. We've asked you to do too many things, and we apologize. But Caroline, who's going to be, who's the forum director, is also here. We're seeing where people are joining the AWID forum. So the other times we ask this question are, where are you joining this session from? But how many people are joining from Bangkok who are going to be there in person? And then I'm sure some of these people are joining virtually and from different hubs. I have a feeling it's a little bit of a mix of where people are right now and where people are joining the forum from. But I think that this is really cool to see this map of people all the way from in the, I don't even, this is a very small map, so my geography is being tested, Caroline.
Very much, Jess. Me too. I'm like, somewhere in the South Pacific. It's always really interesting to see the different time zones and where everyone's coming in from.
Yeah. And thank you for like joining, because we can see obviously that some people it's 6 a.m. for you, and other
Yeah.
people it's after midnight. So for the folks who are somewhere in the middle, we should count ourselves a little bit lucky. Caroline, while we're just doing this, do you want to introduce yourself and give a small image description?
Sure. My name's Caroline Sin. I'm the Forum Deputy Director, and I am calling in from Toronto, Canada. I am a middle-aged Asian woman with big dark Coke bottle glasses that are the main feature that you will see. I have black hair, shoulder length, and a bob, and a very cute white stripe that emerged at some point in my late 30s, and I am the opposite of Jess in terms of how I dress. I don't have any patterns or hardly any colors. I am wearing a light bluish gray, and gray is pretty much the dominant color in my wardrobe. Yeah, really happy to be with you all.
Love it. So the next question we have for everyone, and we can just talk through, is since this is about virtual participation, the question is, I want more virtual. What do you want? So what are people saying? We'll like tag team this. So dance parties and joy. You can read another one.
Yeah, a special session for workshop organizers.
We have attending in person, but I want to share what you have virtually with colleagues not traveling. So making sure that people who aren't there are able to participate. Oop, sorry about that. Keep going.
A lot about connecting with people and interactions and hugs. I love that.
Yeah, virtual spaces for activism and advocacy, sharing and collaboration.
Learning spaces as well. So not just connection.
Sessions for organizations to run. Great. What's this one
Yeah.
about chronic illness? Let's go to it. More virtual access in general. So important for accessibility for folks who cannot travel for any reasons. Visa, economic injustice, disability, and chronic illness, and care responsibilities. Awesome. I think we can end that one there. And I'm going to pass it off to you, and I'll say goodbye at the end of the session. So enjoy.
Thanks, Jess. Is it over to me or over to Ritu?
It's over to you to do the framing.
Okay, awesome. Thank you. I joined last week's Road to the Forum session. So this is just my second time, so apologies if I'm getting some of the timing a little bit off. I wanted to just introduce you a little bit to our thinking around the hybrid forum, what we've put in place and sort of why. So when we thought about the forum, we were really thinking about 3 different modes of engagement, which implied for us 3 different type of audiences. So the first one is our main virtual or hybrid forum, and that's sort of like a virtual version of what is happening on site in Bangkok. So this will be a very robust program. It will have around 40 hybrid and 20 virtual sessions, so around 60 sessions, so quite a few. The hybrid sessions are sessions that are happening in Bangkok but broadcast out. So they will be happening during Bangkok business hours during the forum. But we'll also have virtual sessions that are happening outside of forum hours because we have people joining from all over the world. So those of us in Bangkok, excuse me, while we are sleeping, there will be other people logging in and continuing with forum activities. So the virtual forum, in addition to the sessions, there will be arts activities, screenings, and then conversations that happen afterwards. We're also going to be having different types of reflection sessions. So on site at the forum in early morning, before the forum starts, we're going to have these different reflection sessions where people gather and talk about what's happening. We will be mirroring that in the virtual space. So the same people who are holding the space in person will be holding a virtual space for people to come gather and talk about, excuse me, talk about what they're doing. We're also planning a lot of really interesting activities that we will be unrolling very soon. But just to give you an example, and these are ways to connect the in-person forum to the virtual forum. So we're planning things like, for example, some of the most popular sessions that are happening in Bangkok. We're planning sort of a Take 2 series where we then rebroadcast them virtually, but it would be like a second iteration. It's not just, oh, we're doing the same thing again. So they will, you would see the session that's happening, but also you would get sort of commentary on what people thought about it. They really responded to this. There was a lot of criticism about that. So it's like moving conversations forward. So this is the sort of the biggest part of the hybrid forum, virtual attendance, and it will give people like a really nice window into the conversations and the sessions that are happening in Bangkok. So that's our virtual forum. In addition to that, our hybrid strategy also has 2 other components. So one of them is what we call hubs. So the difference between hubs and just the virtual forum, for the virtual forum, it's just people joining individually and connecting into the forum. The hubs are really community to community engagement, and we're really piloting it this time. We have 8 hubs. Jessica named them all around the world, from Mexico to Ghana to Jamaica. And each one of these is really a co-creation. So each one of them is doing things very differently. Some are joining the forum for all 4 days. Some of them have their own meetings and they have their own agendas and things that they want to do, but they want to plug into the AWID forum. So they're going to plug in for a couple of days. It will be a two-way street where people on site will have the opportunity to go into the hub room and talk to various participants. Also, the participants in different hubs will have the opportunity to talk to people in Bangkok. So we'll be sharing more information about the hubs on the app. And then the third mode of engagement, or the third component of our hybrid strategy, is what we're calling Forum on Air. And this is in recognition of the fact that not everybody has the time to set aside several days to engage with the forum and, arrange for childcare, take time off work, that kind of thing. We still want people to be able to engage, even if they don't have that level of time to engage. So Forum on Air is we'll be taking the hybrid and other sessions and putting audio recordings online, just as so that people can listen to it on their own time. So even if you don't have time to set aside 4 days at the end of the day when you're putting your kids to sleep and folding your laundry and getting lunch ready for tomorrow, you can still put headphones on and still listen. So I'm just going to end there. I just wanted to just give you an overview of the sort of the three prongs of our strategy and the different ways that people will be able to engage with the forum, even if they can't make it on site.
Thanks, Caroline. I just want us all to, we had a few people asking to speak a little slower. It probably was me, for the wordly and interpretation, but people seem to be using it. So speaking about data security, we have Ritu.
Hello. Yeah, so you'll see Caroline's face and my voice. Till our tech team, which is my team, sorting that out. Okay, great, thank you. So we'll be talking about digital safety. How do we make it as part of the collective care? We all believe in that. We need to nurture habits of digital hygiene by educating ourselves. That is the first step about online threats and common scams, nurturing respect for our personal boundaries and those of others, protecting our equipment, private details, and thus contributing to the cohesive environment. So thank you. We are just talking about being aware, the first point. So then the first point, I would say that double check the URLs, the web addresses, basically, carefully. Sometimes even the minor differences in web addresses go unnoticeable, even for the genuine sites. Look at the following pairs of the websites and try to spot the differences between two totally different websites. So, for example, Wordly and Worldly. There is a very small difference between the two. When you're searching for one, you may find other as well as, and you may find, both of them together. So the thing is, the first one is spelled WORDLY, and the second one is spelled WORLDLY, and they both are like genuine sites doing their own work. Similarly, the second one, Canapii with a double I, and Canopy with a single I. And then avid.org and avid.com are two completely different websites, but the same acronym. So there are small differences. When you're checking the web addresses, you need to be, very aware of it, because sometimes you may end up on a genuine site and sometimes you can end up on a phishing site. So next slides, please. Traveling safely. Yes, that is also part of, taking care of yourself and taking care of, collective care of the everyone. So avoid using public Wi-Fi on airports, hotels, cafes, etc. Use a virtual private network software, which is VPN, very commonly called VPN software. It not only protects your websites from tracking your location, but also adds an extra layer of encryption to your internet connection. Consider physical security of your system or computer by adding locks, password protection. A good password saves you from so many problems. You also should use password manager tools to store good passwords. What are the other ways of safeguarding the equipment? Use a reliable security software, a combination of good antivirus, anti-malware, a firewall. A lot of systems like Windows and MacBooks, they come with firewall built in. So enable those firewalls. They protect you from hacking attempts. What else you can do? Regularly update your operating system software and software on the computer.
Ritu, sorry to interject for 1 minute. Folks are saying they can't see the ISL interpretation. And I just want to, if folks could let us in the chat if they can see it. If not, for our tech team, can you make sure that the interpreters are co-hosts so they can share their screen? Thanks. Can I have someone in the chat tell me if you can see the ISL interpretation? Okay, perfect. Carry on, Ritu.
Thank you, Jess. And thank you, tech team. Next slide, please. At the forum. So what you are going to do at the forum, we're going to share a lot of QR codes. You saw the Wordly QR code. And yes, we will make sure this time that we do not add those complicated passwords. It will be easier and simpler. So do not share the QR codes or any other links that we are going to share with you. These are specifically for you to be able to, see the interpretation or attend meetings. So they are meant exclusively for the forum participants. They're not meant to be shared with anyone who is not part of the forum before, during, or even after. So no links, not even for the recordings, because there are, code of conduct we have all agreed with. So do not share any passwords related to the forum. You will see the forum platform. You have created passwords for the forum registration site. You have created those accounts. They create your information, and something like forum app or forum platform will contain the information about you as well as the other participants. Create strong passwords for these platforms, these apps, and do not share them with anyone else. Do not create any, this is also another thing, do not create any digital content without people's consent. The forum is exciting. We all see each other and excitement rubs off. Believe me, I have seen that, and I know that magic. We want to save that magic. We all want to do, and we want to record them as part of the our memories. So, but just be respectful for others' preferences on this. Our team will share details, how you can ensure on that. So we will have those details with you when we see you at. This is from my side, and thank you all for joining, and we'll go to Valerie for the platform.
Thank you, Ritu. Thank you so much for framing the tech security concerns that we need to put into place. And also this is the time to introduce the forum app. So I'll share my screen. Just a second. Okay. Here we are. Please let me know if at all my screen is visible, but this is the forum app that we are going to be using throughout the forum week. And it is going to be accessible to all the participants who have registered for the forum. So once you log in, this is the landing page that the participant you'll be able to see. The platform is still work in progress, but I can assure you that it is shaping up nicely. And to start with is that this is where we are going to be having the forum agenda. So once you get to the platform and you click on the top navigation bar, this is whereby we are going to be having all the forum agenda. And the good thing is that once you've taken note of the session that you'll want to attend, there's a plus sign here whereby you can click on it and then add it as a session that you're interested in. And what that means is that you are creating your agenda. So all the sessions that you'll be interested in and you click on the plus sign is going to be under my agenda. Then also this is where we are going to be having information about the hybrid hubs. And I'm going to talk more about the hybrid hubs in a few minutes, but this is where we'll be having all the information about the discussions and also the groups that are meeting outside of Bangkok in their respective local communities. Then you have the orientation page, and this is whereby we have the code of conduct, the virtual participants guide, and also the in-person participant guide, which is going to be a difference depending on how people are experiencing the platform, with some being on-site and others on the virtual platform. And also here we are having the frequently asked questions. So all the questions that you might have about the platform and also about the forum is going to be highlighted under this section. Then finally, one of my favorite parts is the connect and learn. So here we have meet other attendees. So once you get the login credentials to the platform and you create your profile, this is where it's going to be visible. And also this is where you'll be able to see other people or other participants that will be joining the forum. And the great thing is that you can also drop them a message to connect with them. You also have the option of creating a group chat. And because this does not have the functionality like WhatsApp to ask people if they can join the group, so our recommendation is kindly reach out to the person that you want to be in the same group with, ask for their consent first, and then proceed to create the group chat. Then we have the forum kitchen table, and also still a very exciting space whereby we'll be having the different discussions that will help us be engaged on the platform, and also to make sure that we get to connect and engage with the other activists who may not necessarily be on site, but also will be interested to know what exactly is happening. So this is where we'll be having all the fun discussions. And by the time that you're getting on board, you'll also have some discussions that you can contribute in and formulate your own. And then finally, here is when that you're going to be having our forum on air. Caroline already discussed this briefly, but these are the audio broadcasts that we'll be sharing in relation to the forum. Then for your convenience of the platform, we are having the time zone code here, the time zone icon here. So as a participant, you are able to select the time zone that you are in. So be rest assured that you'll not miss any session because of the time zone issue. So you'll be able to have it here. Then you're also having a cool language AI supported, and this is for it's in line with the forum languages. So for instance, if you want to have the platform in another language, you click on this icon, select the language that you want the platform to change to, and this is what you have. So let me go back to English before I get lost. And then finally, how do you create your profile? So here we have the summary of the profile, but once you get to the platform, do share with us your first and last name, your organization of the group or movement that you belong to, and also something exciting about you that it will be great or an eye-catching for other participants to connect with you. So those are the key features that we are having on the platform. We are still working on making sure that we get all the sessions onboarded. And then is when that we're going to be opening up to the registered participants sometime next week. So that is what we have in terms of the profile, in terms of the forum app. And then I can jump onto the hubs, which is also another exciting element of the forum 2024.
Val, I just wanted to jump in for 1 second because someone told us something fabulous, that at the top of the screen on Zoom, there's an actual button you can press to link to Wordly. And people in the chat have said that was quite a bit easier. So if folks want to try that option, because apparently Wordly, a new technology we're using, is linked to this Zoom session, try that out. All right, back to you, Val. Talk about the hub.
Okay, thank you. Kindly support me with the screen sharing of the hubs. There's the presentation. Yes. Also, another exciting element that we are having for the forum is the hubs. So what exactly are the hubs? The hubs are, kindly, the next slide. So the hubs are the groups and communities are gathering outside of the physical location, which is in Bangkok, and they're gathering in their respective communities to be able to be part of the discussions that are happening in Bangkok. So these are groups that they will not be physically there, but then again, it's important that we bring their reflections, their deliberations, their questions even to be part of the larger discussions that are happening in Bangkok. These are groups that are self-organized, and each group has a specific focus on what is their contribution towards the forum. And how this is done is that some of them have a specific focus or thematic that they want to focus on during the forum week. And some of them are also curating activities that that is going to be easier for them to connect with their communities. And I'm going to explain in the next slide that some of these hubs are adapting arts and theater performances to be able to connect with their communities, and their other group is using the watch party element to be able to connect. So in a nutshell, these are hubs, they're self-organized, and they're also groups that are tapping into the conversations that are happening in Bangkok. And so why do we have hubs during the AVID forum? First of all, we want to foster personal connections and engagement, especially among grassroots organizations and activists who, because of various reasons, cannot be present in Bangkok, but still their voices and their deliberations and also their contribution is important. So that is the key reason as to why we are having the hubs, and also to increase the cross-border interaction and discussions among different groups who are facing the same challenges in their respective communities, but also it will be a space for them to be able to see how is the Accra hub connecting to the one in Cameroon. So that is how the reason is that we are having the hubs during this forum. And next slide, please, is where exactly are the hubs? So right now we are having 8 hubs in total, and we are having Diana from the Mexico hub, which is going to be hosted by Fondo Semillas, joining us to share with us the activities that they have planned, what are the hopes or what are the aim that they wish to achieve in the Mexico hub. Diana, over to you.
Thank you very much, Valerie. So every time there is the opportunity to make some language justice, I take it. So I'm gonna switch to Spanish. Hola, soy de Fondo Semillas. Somos un fondo feminista nacional ubicado en México. Nosotras como fondo financiamos organizaciones, pero además de eso las fortalecemos y articulamos. Así que el foro de IWIT para nosotras hace muchísimo sentido. Sin embargo, las modalidades de participación presencial y virtual nos quedaban muy lejos, tanto por el tema idioma como por los costos, incluso por los horarios. Así que el hub nos hacía mucho sentido, pero cómo podemos hacer que que no traigamos activistas para solo ver la televisión juntas. Así que decidimos que este hub iba a tener una perspectiva latinoamericana. Y con ese espíritu invitamos a la Alianza de Fondos Latinoamericanos, a otros 7 fondos hermanos, para que pudieran participar de este hub con activistas, con quienes están trabajando y también económicamente. Así que eso por un lado, pero también lo que queríamos era fomentar la conexión y la reflexión latinoamericana, ¿no? Como región. Y también tener un espacio que recuperara el espíritu del foro que está sucediendo en Tailandia. Después de un proceso de co-creación, como bien mencionaba Valerie y Caroline, decidimos tener un hub de 3 días con 8 sesiones y con una invitación cerrada para 80 personas. Ya vamos en 100 y puede que esto siga creciendo, pero estamos ajustándonos. De estas 8 sesiones, 4 van a ser grabadas en Bangkok y retransmitidas en el hub. Y después vamos a tener unas actividades de digestión. Estas actividades van a ser sobre todo artísticas, sobre todo tallereadas, ¿no? Las facilitadoras tienen mucho esa perspectiva de poner en el centro que estas actividades también pasen por el cuerpo. También vamos a tener 4 actividades presenciales. Una actividad que fue aceptada para el formato virtual que vamos a tener en presencial, la vamos a grabar y se va a retransmitir en el formato virtual. 2 actividades que fueron aceptadas para el foro de Bangkok y que van a ser replicadas por las mismas organizaciones que lo van a dar en Bangkok. Y una actividad navegando el ecosistema de financiamiento feminista que como hub, o sea, y que como fondo nosotras también queremos darle pues nuestra propia mirada. Es decir, que sea con remarque los desafíos de nuestras activistas y también que ponga y que interactúe con nuestros donantes. Por último, pues porque también importa mucho el disfrute, sumaremos una fiesta. Así que bueno, ese es el resumen, súper resumen de nuestro hub. Gracias, Valerie.
Grazie, grazie, Diana. And it's so beautiful to see how much work you've put into this, and also how the process has been since the first days that we started talking about the hubs and conceptualizing it, and having 80 participants already. I'm very sure after this webinar, probably will get more interest. But thank you so much for leading on that, and we cannot wait to see how the Mexico hub will present during the forum. So thank you, Diana. The other hubs are going to be in Douala and Cameroon, and this is going to be led by Women for a Change Cameroon, which works with adolescent girls. And they're going to be focusing mainly on the watch parties and the reflection moments. Also, we'll be having the African Women's Development Fund together with drama queens, again, also for bringing together a group of young feminists and using theater and art performance as a way of connecting to the discussions that are happening in Bangkok. We also have Women's League of Burma and Myanmar Trust Fund in Chiang Mai, which is great because there'll be a lot of activities and also cross connection with one hub in Chiang Mai and the other one on site in Bangkok. Also with the favor of the time zone, there's also going to be a lot of discussion during the forum on that. We also have Wekeswa together with Wuhai, which is going to bring a group of sex workers and also activists with disability, and they'll be convening in Kisumu. So quite exciting that we are having a lot of different groups convening outside of Bangkok. We also have a group of Jamaica Community of Positive Women who will be convening in Kingston, and also during their time, their activities in relation to the 16 Days of Activism campaign. So the group will also be focusing on will also be focusing on the theme of the 16 Days of Activism campaign, and also again tapping into the discussions that are happening in Bangkok. Next slide, please. And then we also have Akwa Ibom State. My Nigerian siblings, my apologies if I got that pronunciation wrong. But this is a group of LGBTIQ community activists who have decided to come together and be part of the discussion. Is a group of around 15 community activists who will be convening in one of the activist home. Just make sure that also they are part of the discussion. And then lastly, we are having the UN Women East and Southern Africa Hub that will be held in Nairobi, Kenya. And again, their discussion is also going to be focusing on the 16 Days of Activism campaign and also the discussions that are happening in Bangkok. So in a nutshell, we're going to be having 8 hubs, quite exciting, and also quite profound that each and every hub is curating their own activities in a way that makes sense to their communities and in a way that it will make them be part of the discussions that are happening in Bangkok. I'll stop there and hand it over to Jess.
Well, I'm just going to pass it back to you, Valerie, and invite Caroline and Ritu back on to be spotlighted, because this is now the question and answer time. So if we open the chat, the Q&As, there's a lot of questions here. First, I'm going to go with an easy one that I saw in the chat, but then I'm going to just give it to you to answer them. Is Wordly only available in English? It's good we're testing it now because I know it's not, but can you talk more about that, Ritu?
No, it is available in 60 languages for the speaker and for the interpretation, translation. It's just that this is our first time, and so yes. So I think yes, the speaker's language need to be switched. So we'll take care of. We don't know. We're wiser.
Hey, I will just open up some of these, but you three can also do it. There was some questions about the hubs that we saw. Can you talk a little bit more about how, like, if you're engaging in person at the forum or in a different hubs, how will they be connected?
Okay, so during the forum on site, we are going to be having a hub room. And the hub room will be a space for the on-site participants to be able to connect with the people that are in the 8 hubs that I have mentioned. And the mode of engagement will be mostly reflections and also light conversations on either the thematic focus on either the thematic topic that either of the hubs would have selected. And also we'll be having a programming for the hub specifically to make sure that the connection is possible between the on-site participants and also the hubs in the 8 regions. So first of all, we're going to be having a hub location. Then secondly, we are going to be having a programming to make sure that the on-site participants are able to connect with the people that are off-site.
And just adding to that, we're working with each of the hubs. So some of them will have a session at a particular time, and we'll make sure that that's in the agenda. The hub room, excuse me, the hub room is also in a room that's covered by glass, and it's in quite a prominent place. So if you're on site and going by, I invite you just to peek in, and if it looks like there's something interesting going on, you can hop in and say hello to someone at a hub somewhere else in the world. So there will be places for spontaneous, sort of more spontaneous connections as well.
Great. I see a question in the chat in French about how there's generally low participation from French-speaking activists. Can you talk a little bit about, and the question also goes on to ask that they would like more inclusion. Can you talk about the 2 Francophone hubs that are in Cameroon? And if you know any details or how to connect with those in particular?
So the Francophone hub is going to be hosted by Women for a Change, Cameroon, and they're going to be in Douala and Yaoundé. The host is Women for a Change organization, and how we can connect with you is that you can write to us, and then you can put you in communication with the hosts. And they are glad to open up the space to more activists that are based in the Francophone region and do not be able to make it to Bangkok.
And Jess, let me just jump in to add that there will also be a Francophone space on site at the forum. So as part of the on-site forum, we have a festival hall with different groups hosting spaces. So if possible, it would be great to make a connection between the Francophone space and the Francophone hubs.
Okay, great. There's a few questions in the chat as well about the program. Does anyone want to take that one, when the program's going to be coming out and when we can also expect the launch of this platform?
I'm wondering if I can ask Maggie to jump in and answer this question. Maggie, please go ahead.
I was looking for the specific date that Fatima had shared with us around when the forum program will be available, because we are currently in the process of finalizing translation. As you know, the forum program needs to be available in at least the 5 forum languages. So I believe we are expecting to publish it in the next 10 days. But yeah.
Caroline,
I also wanted to clarify something, because I see the question has come up several times. Virtual and hybrid programming will not be openly available to anyone who wants to connect. It will only be available for registered participants through the forum app. So we will not be distributing Zoom links for security reasons. People will be able to connect to the sessions only through the forum app and only if they are registered participants. They will not be able, we won't be able to share out like Zoom links to anyone who wants to register. Having said that, there will be some facilities for hybrid session presenters and such to be able to share some registrations.
And there's some questions here. Thanks, Maggie. Now you've joined the session, so you're in the question answer pool. And it's great. You all get to meet some of our team.
Jess, sorry,
Hmm.
it's Gabby, the consultant from AWID, and I am Francophone, and I was wondering if I can just intervene 1 minute to answer
Please.
the questions in French, and I will do it in French just because I think, yes, it's relevant. Bon, salut à tous qui sont francophones dans cet appel. Moi, je suis Gabriela et je suis costaricienne, mais je voulais vous assurer qu'on a beaucoup, AWID est en train de patrociner beaucoup des présenteurs qui sont francophones et de pays francophones. Alors, même si vous ne voyez pas dans ce moment des sessions qui sont particulièrement en français, je voulais vous assurer qu'il y a beaucoup de participants qui viennent de ces pays qu'on est en train de parler avec eux et avec elles et chaque jour par email. Alors, même si vous ne voyez pas dans le programme de ce que mes collègues viennent de dire des sessions en français, ou pas beaucoup de sessions en français, et il y a beaucoup de présenteurs qui viennent de ces pays. Alors, c'est ça. Et je vais essayer de vous répondre en français dans le chat. Thank you, Jess.
No, of course. Thank you. The more the merrier. There was also a question about, sorry, I'm looking both at the chat and the question and answers, and there's many. There are some questions, and also Maggie, if you want to take any of the Spanish questions as well, speaking of language justice, but we also, people want to know about the app. when is this going to be open so folks can start connecting with each other and also get more information about the programs and
So I'll say that towards the end of next week is when that you're going to be opening the app for the registered participants. But as a first step, since we are testing the platform and also continuing the process of uploading the program, we are aiming to have the presenters, the forum presenters, be the first one to be onboarded on the app. And we're also hoping that you're going to be to get feedback on how the usability and how friendly the app is. And if there's any changes that you need to make, we are able to do that before we officially go on live. So the answer is that the first people to be onboarded is the presenters so that you can test the functionalities. And then the registered participants, the platform will be open towards the end of next week.
awesome. And also someone's asking, is this going to be the main platform for all the side event queries? What can we really expect from the app? Why would we want to go to the app? Sell it to us.
The app is the backbone of AVID 2024 forum. Like every information that will be conveyed, all the session information, the ability of the participants to be able to connect with the other participants that are coming to the forum, the sessions information, the virtual participants, that is the space in which you're going to be sharing the link of the app. So technically we'll be briefing the forum app throughout the week. So all the information about the forum will be there. And this is going to be accessible only to the participants that have registered for the forum.
Awesome. There is a question. There's a lot of questions here. So feel free to take any of them, but there's one about hubs and how exactly do participants, feminists, how do they link with the organizers of the hub? For instance, this one they're mentioning in Kisumu. How can they contact them?
So for the hubs, what we aim to do is to have all the information up on the forum app. So meaning that their contacts will be there, and once we go live, it will be easier for the participants who are interested in the hub to be able to get in contact with the organizers. But since we still have a few more days to go up, what I can suggest is that for the participants that are interested in joining the different hubs, to write to us on forum using the forum email, and we could connect them directly. But once we go live, the information about the hubs will be on the platform.
Yeah, and I just want to know, there's a lot of people asking about how to join the app. Next week it will be launched. You'll get an email. We're actually having a full session next week. On Thursday, it's our final session. Last chance to ask any logistics, but we're also going to have an onboarding session, listen to music, and then try to get as many folks, same as we're testing Wordly today, but to also get on the hub and start exploring. There's people
Can I
asking.
answer that?
Yeah,
Sorry,
go for it.
So the onboarding, what that means is that the participants will be able to get the login credentials on their email address. So they'll get we'll be using the same email address that they used while registering for the forum, together with instructions on how to set up their password. So once that is done, there's also going to be a link in that email to be able to access the platform with the email address and the password that you would have set. So all those will be shared on the email.
Wonderful. Somebody is asking if they can, okay. I was like bringing partners or guests. We get a lot of questions about people, you know, bringing people to like see the forum. Can this happen, Caroline?
Um, Unfortunately, it cannot happen because we are very, very oversubscribed. So we had intended a forum of 2,500 and we are closing in on closer to 4,000. So unfortunately, we won't be able to make that possible. Very sorry.
And what about, another question is about, can we share virtual, when will presenters be notified? There's a question about online presenters for our events. When will people get more information, if they're session holders, especially about online? So they can, I believe, connect with their session teams.
Can you just say that again?
So if folks are having a session virtually online, when will they get more information so they can send virtual links to different presenters and people who are involved in their online sessions?
Mike, do you want to jump in on that?
I'm wondering if whoever is asking for a purely virtual session or for a hybrid sessions. We have sent out the information on when sessions will be scheduled to all session organizers. We have been communicating directly with session organizers around what day and what time the sessions are happening and whether the session is available for hybrid, whether it has interpretation available. So if you are not a session organizer, please reach out to your session organizers because they have more information around virtual participation. Though, Val, I think that we are still pending reaching out to folks because not everyone has confirmed information on the speakers. So we are still chasing down folks. I wanted also to clarify because I saw a couple of questions. There will not be wordly interpretation in all sessions because we have about 19 simultaneous sessions happening per time slot. And altogether, we have over 200 sessions happening. So within each time slot, there will be a limited amount of hybrid sessions. It's 4 hybrid sessions per time slot. And there will be a limited amount of wordly sessions. It'll be 5 wordly sessions per time slot. These have already been set, and we have sent them out also to the session organizers. Again, because of capacity issues, we are prioritizing those sessions where the speakers are not English speakers. And the reason we are prioritizing the non-English speakers is because most of the audience that will be attending the forum is able to understand English.
Thanks, Maggie. There's another question about will sessions be recorded? Can virtual participants access the session recordings immediately after the event? This is from someone who's based in Argentina. And as we know, folks who are in the Americas and the Caribbean, they're going to have a hard time because it's a 12-hour time difference about. So can you talk a little bit more about how folks who might not fit into the Bangkok time zones, how they'll be able to access virtually?
Yeah, Jess, I can jump in here. There's actually a technical issue that I need to discuss with Valerie, but technical issues aside, the plan is that all of the hybrid sessions, or if the plan was, if we can make it happen technologically, was to have all of the hybrid sessions be rebroadcast 12 hours later, so that if you're in Mexico, and this amazing session is happening at 4 a.m. when you're tucked in bed. Don't worry, 12 hours later, so which should be 4 in the afternoon your time. Our plan is to rebroadcast. But Valerie, can you jump in here? I know we've had conversations. You were saying that it might be very tricky with the Canapii app and there might be a different workaround instead, but I'll invite you to share where we're at with that.
Yeah. So the idea was that for the recorded sessions, this is mainly the hybrid. to be shared after the forum. But because of the excitement and also the number of people that we're expecting on the virtual platform, what we are going to be doing instead is that after the session has already taken place, we will share it on the platform. So what this means is that this session will still be accessible to only the participants that have registered to the forum, and they will have a link and also a password because they're going to be recorded on Zoom. So once they have access to those, they'll be able to get access to the recordings that happened when they were asleep. But then again, this is also for specific sessions, but the whole of the recordings of the sessions that we are having for the hybrid and the plenaries is going to be mostly available after the forum.
Thanks. I guess this is to you again, Val, because you are holding the, the platform, but can you tell us a little bit how the platform can be used for different caucuses to connect, for instance, Black, trans, people with disabilities, and so on?
Okay. So first of how we can connect through two main features, that is the meet the attendees. So once you get onto the platform, there's a summary of all the people that have registered to the platform and already on the platform. So they meet the attendees, and it has the feature of the chat function where you can send a direct message to a participant, and also the option of creating a group chat. And also, as I mentioned, kindly do not add anyone to the group chat, not unless you've asked for their consent, so that we don't have people being in groups that they do not sign up to be in. So that is one way in terms of connectivity. And also the other way is through the forum kitchen table, which is mainly text-based and is a way of the participants to connect. It could be as simple as, who is traveling from Kisumu, let's connect. Who is traveling, let's say from Brazil, let's connect. It could also be a way of, for the virtual participants to be able to connect on that platform and attend the sessions that they seem interested in together. So for instance, there's a session on feminist resourcing. That is the space in which the virtual participant can gear up connection and attend the sessions together, and also have a reflection after that in the same space. So look at it as a way of a Facebook community whereby different forms of communications and connections are taking place.
Awesome. And will, back to the recordings, we're going back and forth here a little bit. Where will there be like kind of a library or something of the recordings, and how long will they be available for people who are registered to watch?
The recordings are going to be available on the platform, and this is going to be for a period of 3 months after the forum. After that, also this means that the participants will be able to access the platform for 3 months after the forum, and that is where the recordings are going to be hosted.
Maybe this is for Ritu. Ritu, can you talk a little bit about some of the data security, especially in places where you know, activists are really targeted? How safe is it for folks to participate virtually and use the platform?
That's a very difficult question. It is as safe as any website or internet. It is actually safer than that because it's encrypted. There are terms and conditions that are related to the data. But I always say that, especially to the activists that are from the countries that are targeted, that it's always good to use the additional security layers. And yeah, it's unfortunate the way things are. I mean, the app is safe, the platform is safe, but I would say that you would still need to add like things like VPN. You need to protect your computer from the exposure. So add security layers so that your laptop is not hacked. Have the good antivirus and anti-malware. The main problems with most of the things is when your equipment gets hacked. And at that point, no kind of security can help. So yes, I don't know what is the clear answer for is it safe or not. It's a very complicated answer for everything. So it has to be individually checked for each place. So as a platform, it is safe, but there are layers in between. Um, yeah, it is difficult.
I guess there's no real cut or dry answer for some of these. There is always some risk, right? Safe is safer or something is can be very difficult. And at AWOOD, we really try our best. Ritu leads this, trying to figure out the most feminist approach to data security and you know, looking at surveillance online. So yeah, I hope whoever asked that was helpful, but yeah, there's been many months of trying to figure out different platforms and back-end security. So you know, yeah, we have landed where we landed. We just have about 10 minutes left. If anyone has any other questions that you would like, this is your last few minutes. I just wanted to highlight that a few people were confused about the calendar invites that were sent. There's 2 different time zones. Not only are we trying to practice language justice, but also time zone justice. But so as you saw on our map, for some people it's 6 a.m. this call, other people it's 1 a.m. So for the final session on logistics, we're having 2 sessions. One will be ridiculously early or time for some of you. And so that is so people who are in the Pacific, in Asia and the Pacific, will have something that's within daytime hours. And then we have one that will be not at 6 a.m. for people who are on the West Coast and who are in you know, the other time zones. So that one of them is at 9 Universal Time Clock. I know these are a bit confusing, and the other one is at 3 in the afternoon. So that's why there's 2 different calendars. One that you're probably like, what? Why is AWOOD inviting me at 2 in the morning? Well, that's why. Choose you will not go if it doesn't work for you. Let me just look in the chat here to see if there's any more questions. Yeah, and once again, people are asking their session organizers if they haven't received anything yet. There was an issue in the back end, and us as AWOOD, we want to own it, where there were some emails that were missed and haven't been getting updates. So we're sorry about that. That's being fixed this evening. So you should be being updated starting tomorrow. So thank you for all the people that flagged that. And if you are not getting it by Monday, then please send us another message. Okay, here's one. Okay, so if you're joining virtually and not able to go to one of the official 8 hubs and want to gather with other virtual participants, do they need to wait and try to connect with people in the chat on the platform or need to sort out local travel? Like, how do they do that? How can people just kind of, I'm assuming you're asking, can people just kind of make their own community hubs with other virtual participants?
I'm looking, so just my answer will be yes, because also the purpose of the forum is to make sure that we strengthen the community engagement and also the interaction. So my answer would be yes. So once we officially go live with the forum app, let's make those connections, and especially for the virtual participants who will not really be on site and have the feeling of the forum and have reflection moments along the corridors or the coffee area. It would be great to see how the virtual participants are able to make use of those spaces, and also the groups to be able to attend the sessions together. So that can also be done once we go live with the platform.
And just to add to what Valerie is saying, if people are interested and if they spontaneously organize hubs last minute, the challenge is organizing capacity because we'll be doing so many things. But as Valerie says, we do have a hub room on site. So if you are one of those people who is organizing a spontaneous hub, do get in touch. We'll do the best we can. We could, as I say, the room has glass walls. So as people are walking by, we might, if there are enough people interested in doing this, we could just set up a board that says spontaneous hub conversations will be happening. Please walk by. And then if someone says, you know what, tomorrow I'm coming on at 1 p.m. and we'll be like, okay, great. We'll put the sign up and people can come in. So as long as we have the organizing capacity and time, we would be really happy to hear from people who have decided, you know what, I'm going to organize a spontaneous hub, and let's see who I can talk to. So yeah, we'll do our best, and that sounds fun.
Awesome. I love this. I love when we're nimble. Maybe I'm going to call on Maggie for this so Maggie and myself, we are on the Gala Party People Committee, and there's a couple of questions. We might as well answer them now, asking about the gala. What do people need to wear? What should they expect? You're a forum veteran, so you can tell us a little bit about the gala.
So the gala, more than a dinner, it's a party. So it's a party really where we will have food, but there will be shows, there will be dancing, there will be, coming together and just celebrating. So more than a formal event, Forum A-Woods are beautiful even to see because all of you come like in so many colors and fashions and things. So I would say, take the space to dress as, flamboyant as you want, as beautiful as you want, or as comfortable as you want. We all have different levels of fashionness or less. But come prepared to have fun and to dance, and it's not a formal type of event. It's a party.
Awesome. I can't wait. And actually after, I think we're going to feel a lot of range of emotions at the forum. And, I think feminist joy and party is going to be a really awesome way to end the forum. I think we're going to have to wrap it up now. So we have a few more questions in the chat if our team wants to kind of take those and answer those in the last few minutes. Remember, we are going to have a meeting next week. If someone could drop the Menti for the into the chat. The Menti is another opportunity to ask questions. We do, our team looks at those, in particular, any logistics questions that still may be made outstanding. Please note that we are a pretty lean team. Folks working on logistics, sometimes it's only one person answering hundreds of emails a day. So I'm just trying to, in solidarity with her, share that if it takes a moment to get back to you. Oh yeah, someone's just asking about youth and teenage spaces. We can answer that. Yeah, there's a young feminist space, and there's also a space for like childcare, which Caroline, if you just want to answer that one, and then that will be the last one that's answered live.
Sure. We'll have a childcare space for children 3 and up. staffed by childcare workers, certified childcare workers. There will be different play spaces. As part of that space, there will also be a breastfeeding room in case people are coming with infants. Anyone who needs a nanny, we can't hire a nanny for you, but we can put you in touch with an agency that you can get a nanny hired for you, and they can come to the forum with your infant. We'll be providing breaks and lunch in that space as well. So if you're a parent coming with children, you're welcome to go into that space. It's a little bit quieter and eat with your kids. If you're more adventurous, you're welcome to bring them into the regular buffet lines as well. Our accessibility coordinator is Denise. So those of you, I don't know, Denise, if you can drop your email into the chat, but if you have any accessibility or questions around specific needs around childcare, Denise will be able to help you with that. Actually, I'm not sure if Denise is on the call. She may actually be on her way to Thailand at this point. Okay.
I have.
So I will drop her email into the chat then.
Yeah. So once again, thank you everybody for joining us. We're only like 2 weeks away, which feels big. Please join us next week on Thursday, the 21st at one of the 2 times, and tell your friends who are coming, because that's going to be our last chance to answer any logistics questions. As was shared, the program is going to be shared, was it early next week? Is that what you said? Sorry, I have some, yeah, and same, the platform is going to be launched next week as well. We really want you to attend the next session. We're going to hear from our directors, Caroline being one of them, about what to expect. And then we're also going to be practicing Wordly and getting onto the platform. So let's do this before the messiness of the forum. So thanks everyone, and fill out the Menti. So we keep your and keep your questions coming. Let's have some sweet tunes, please, Jim and Ty. And with that, we are done.